the most important catastrophe in the history of Earth during which mankind appeared. When it happened, great catastrophes. How many years are given for the history of reasonable, Homo sapiens, mankind? Or what mistakes you can meet in films and literature about the unknown? Recently mass media, the internet, and television are overloaded by materials about the unknown. The large quantity of articles, movies, and video films about the life on other planets, the occurring cataclysms on Earth, the continents existing before, immortality, the future apocalypse and many other topics are offered to attention of readers and televiewers. In a huge stream of this information it is very difficult not to get lost for the unprepared person, plus many articles and films sin with universal coverage and dates. And even the prepared televiewers and readers not often ready for so many revelations from above and just few facts, or these facts contradict with the knowledge of scientists. It is very easy to find confirmation for this. Favorite topic of many publications and films is the world cataclysm, a great flood, nuclear wars of the past, which usually date thousands years ago. The latest event dates 12,000 years ago. These films and movies are very impressive. By the opinion of this filmmakers, for this short period of time, by geological measures, plunged into the abyss Atlantis, Hyperborea, and here, Lemuria, Pacifies and other ancient continents. The Earth cognized nuclear wars, and its surface disappeared under huge waves of floods. The human being lost his immortality, and then longevity, etc. Sometimes these movies are even more impressive. It appears that Earth 4 or 12,000 years ago faced some kind of mythical planet, Nibiru, Phaeton, Nemesis, etc., or itself, being the Phaeton splinter, moved into the modern orbit almost from an orbit of Jupiter. And Hares even more to come than Earth faced the Moon, which took its modern position around the Earth and began to shine in silvery light on the night sky, and our planet was visited by aliens from Sirius, Orion, Phaeton, and Mars. And all this should keep within 12,000 years. My point is the time. How all these cosmic events could be packed in 12,000 years. Don't you think it is too much for such a short period of time? Well, we live in a very surprising time. How many events dropped out on our poor head? Reading and watching similar materials, it is difficult to perceive them differently than a fantasy, pursuing the aim to amuse a little bit or on the contrary to intimidate, depending on humans' predisposition. And more often such movies manage to do it. As well as another thing to kill hardly arisen belief in alternative theories of development of the Earth and mankind in seriously thinking researchers. After all, any student who has studied geology in the slightest degree and the more educated geologist with an experience, knows that for the last 12,000 years there were nothing similar on Earth. More than that, there is no conversation about global catastrophes and destructions of the worlds 3 or 4,000 years ago. Yes, there were earthquakes, eruptions of volcanoes, or tsunami, but it was similar events, by the scales, that occur now. At most, on what they were capable is to destroy a city, to devastate some small site of a surface of Earth. But to wipe off the face of the Earth, to destroy the whole continent, Atlantis, Hyperborea, and here, Lemuria, Pacifies, is already pure fantasy of movie makers, without geological confirmations. I wrote in my works the seventh continent Hyperborea, where was and how looked Hyperborea, Atlantis, Hyperborea, Lemuria, the continents, long ago known by geologists and others. I told that Hyperborea and Lemuria existed on Earth in the Mesozoic and the beginning of Paleogene period. Hyperborea was nothing else than the well-known for geologists the supercontinent Laurasia, stretched from North America through the Arctic to that place which began to be called later as Tibet, and Lemuria Hindustan. During the Paleogene period Hyperborea, Laurasia lost North America, Northern Europe, and Asia, and the remained Arctic part decreased from the Eocene, 58 to 55 million years, to the Neogene middle, 16 million years, already in 4 times. Lemuria, Hindustan at the end of Eocene, 40 million years ago, faced the suburb of Eurasia and stopped to exist as the independent continent. As for Atlantis, it could be South America, some part of Atlantis. Another part of Atlantis could possibly be the ancient